Hello, and welcome, one and all, to the FIU Varsity Rocket League match tonight. We've got another regular season game between FIU Varsity and George Mason Rocket League Academy. FIU Varsity Rocket League looking for revenge after their most recent matchup against George Mason in the round robin. Meanwhile, George Mason University is looking to maintain their undefeated streak here heading into week number 3. George Mason going to be in blue this time. FIU Varsity sporting the orange. And it's going to be your classic starting 3, Drew, Coco, and Zernite, taking on Jussie, Kevbob, and Jam. Our last bout, a short best of 3. FIU Varsity did fall one of their 2 round robin losses against George Mason. Early action not amounting to very much for either team. George Mason dribbling about, but it's going to be Kevbob skying up and slamming down the first goal of the series already. 1-0 for the Patriots. Nice little dunk off that high pass, and GMU going to jump out to an early 1-0 lead. Off the restart, and Jussie offer the ball up to Coco, who's getting quite aggressive with it. Going to go top off the crossbar, but nobody from FIU is home to catch. Oh God, nearing it, sending it back upfield, and Zernite. Bit of a battle at midfield for that 50 ball, and this is going to be another goal for Kevbob. It's a self-oop, giving that assist over to Jussie as well. Going high off the backboard, and Coco simply cannot get a hand on it. FIU Varsity forced onto the back foot quite early. Restart goes the way of Coco, and Zernite's going to wrestle him away from that ball. Drew actually gets an advantageous touch on it, but Kevbob a very nice clearance. Their own right. Now running it off this right side wall. Kevbob is looking to get the offense back in swing for the Patriots. It's another cross up over the middle of the field, but Coco passes it over to Zernite down their right sideline once more, and it's a demo. FIU playing 3-on-2. Damn, denying the ball here in the goal line, and Coco's going to go off the backboard, but nobody home for that reversal. Kevbob's going to dribble it right past Drew God, sails it right over the top of his head, and FIU Varsity now once again on the clearance. Coco does get a demo onto Kevbob, and a bump out of the way for Jam. Dangerous position for FIU Varsity, and Drew God was available over the middle, but could not position in time. Kevbob knocks him out of the way, but he still has some boost to play with. Coco knocks it forward again, but FIU Varsity just a tad slow on the return. So many attempts here for FIU Varsity early on in this game, but nobody been able to secure that first goal, break the glass ceiling. Coco still wrestling for control along this right side wall, and again, Drew God just getting dribbled past, and it's a 3rd goal on the board for GMU. Firing on all cylinders early here in game number 1. Of course, this regular season match is a long best of 5, certainly longer than the BO3s we were playing earlier this spring, but both teams are fighting to maintain their undefeated streak in the regular season. Drew's going to pass one up to Coco, who's going to look to slam in a self-loop of his own. Zernite gets control, and Coco will be denied on the first punch. Zernite throws another high off the glass. Drew God to play alongside Zernite. Bump Kevbob out of the way, and Coco and Zernite do just enough to slip that ball past the Patriots defense. And FIU Varsity find their first goal. Restart once more, and George Mason off to the races. Coco wants to get aggressive early, but doesn't have the boost to play with. Now Drew God's going to try and dribble past Kevbob, but stumped in front of the goal. The first attempt denied, and Zernite's ricochet slam denied once more. Justy does get a nice little touch pass Coco, and actually Coco's boost management quite good over the middle of the field. Zernite's going to get an advantageous touch, and Cam is denying these opportunities on the defensive end. Kevbob juggling forward, dribbling ahead, will be denied a bit, but flat-footed in the goal is Zernite. FIU Varsity going to forfeit a fourth here in game one. Simply nothing to be done for Zernite on the other end. FIU Varsity back out on the defense, or frankly lacking thereof. It's a quick, must have been 3 or 4 seconds at most. George Mason really laying it on thick here in game one. It is tough scenes for FIU Varsity. We'll see if they can finally slam their foot down, put up a stand, put up a fight. Zernite the only person to draw blood for the Panther squad. Justy once again flipping his way through midfield. Zernite's going to take control and run it down the left sideline, going high up towards the goal, but it will be denied on the first attempt. Drugod looks to knock one in, and all of the demolitions that FIU is getting consistently disrupting the GMU defense, but just everyone is on the same page. Shot attempt will be denied by Justy, and it's sent over through the middle of the field, and another demo for FIU Varsity. It gives them a window of opportunity to potentially get another goal on the board. Nothing more than consolation, but a nice little disco ball for FIU Varsity to celebrate with. Good teamwork on the 1-2 at midfield, and to close the gap and cover the spread is all FIU Varsity can hope for late here in the opening game of this best of 5. Less than 20 seconds remain, and there's still so much work for FIU Varsity to do. Coco will keep it out of harm's way for the time being, but the time dips into single digits. FIU Varsity is just going to look for any kind of good news, and not going to be very much, as just a second remains. All GMU needs to do is floor this ball, and there it will be. GMU take game number 1. GG's flooding the chat. And what a game from Kevbob. 3 goals of GMU's 5. Looking good early on for George University. Of course, if you're just joining us, welcome to the FIU Varsity Esports stream, coming to you from sunny South Florida. Tonight we've got Rocket League, and of course, in the coming nights, we'll also have more Varsity Esports content for you. Coming up tomorrow is, of course, Varsity Valorant. You'll have Val GC at 7 o'clock for the NACE Varsity Plus game, and then Varsity Premier playoffs begin for the Varsity Valorant teams. Won't want to miss that. We'll be getting right on in to game number 2. FIU Varsity losing out on that 50 ball and forced to play a little bit of defense. Dribbling back down that right side of the field. Coco's actually going to soar one right past the GMU defense. Drugod punches it in. Beautifully done. Kevbob stun locked in front of that left crossbar. FIU Varsity steal a goal. Kevbob drops a nice one in chat. Certainly was. A demo onto Kevbob means that FIU Varsity were playing a 3-on-2 until just shortly thereafter. And runs down that right sideline, and suddenly there's danger for FIU Varsity, but Drugod keeps it out of harm's way, and it's another crossover midfield. This has been the bread and butter for FIU Varsity's Rocket League team. It hasn't been a ton of aerial control, mostly these crosses. Zernite's gonna give Drugod an open net, let that one soar all the way back in, and Drugod's already up to 2 quick goals. The unexpected offense for Drew. Typically not the guy who's really lighting up the scoreboard, but FIU Varsity will take those quick 2 goals to go up. Just 45 seconds in, and another shot attempt from Drugod nearly sails on in as well. Coco's liven up another opportunity, and Drugod nearly snatches away that hat trick. But Zernite is going to lob another one up, and Drugod, he's been everywhere in this game number 2 thus far. But Coco's going to be the one that seals the fate of this 3-goal lead. Offensive pressure for FIU Varsity, the disparity between game 1 and 2, just shocking stuff. AMU reeling early in game 2. We'll see if they can recalibrate and get themselves back in order. Pass bounces up over through the middle of the field, and Kevbob's going to be the one that gets a handle on it. Zernite, a shot attempt, and a shot scored. Bottom left corner. And we'll count those. Beautifully done from the FIU Varsity Rocket League captain. Jussie just can't make it in time. Off the restart again, and FIU Varsity Rocket League looking clean after a slow start in game number 1, but this could be GMU's opportunity to start closing the gap. Offensive pressure still on, but Zernite's going to be the one that turns it upfield. Peels away one boost, and it looks like the second as well. Coco clearance in the goal line, and he might just take this one all the way. Jussie denies in front of the goal, and Jam is going to keep Drugod on his back for now. Coco's just going to give that one the last little touch it needs, and FIU Varsity is up to 5. Unanswered goals here in game number 2. Now is the time in the coaching cycle where I would tend to call a timeout. Unfortunately, not really a thing, but AMU certainly looking stiff coming into this second game of the best of 5. Jam and Jussie going to make me eat my words certainly quickly, as a few seconds later, it's a off the wall bouncing pass, and all centered up over midfield. Jussie's going to try and dribble past Zernite. He will. Drugod controls over midfield. It's the 1-2 again off the back crossbar. Zernite's goal is denied. A beautiful touch and denial, and Jam's going to look to take it the other way. Kevbob controlling in the middle of the field. Gets it past Drugod. Jussie's going to give it a bump and attempt. Drugod's denial over midfield is good. Does that one sail all the way in? It does! A hat trick secured for Drew in this game 2 off of a near cross field goal. Denial on that GMU attack. They really started to mount it there for a second, but FIU Varsity slammed the door shut. All goes high for FIU Varsity, and it will be denied on this initial attempt. Kevbob takes it the other way. Zernite there for the denial, but Coco out of boost is just going to give it a love tap out of the way. Zernite's going to pay the price, and Jam's going to send him to a gray screen for a moment. 2 players from FIU Varsity stealing away that save. Forgot racking up this score here in game 2. Already on for a hat trick, and with so many saves, he's going to let Coco take the glory for this one. More than 2 minutes remain in this game, but FIU Varsity has hummed like a well-oiled machine. It looks like Kevbob is just about ready for this game number 3. Not certain they do mercy rules very much in Rocket League, but FIU Varsity has seriously ran away with this one. Offensive opportunity denied for the time being by Coco and Drew in the goals. Zernite looking to give that one the last little redirect. Gonna let Coco take the reins. Drew, another attempt, will be stymied by James. And Jussie still working so well together. Drugod cannot quite finesse it, and Kevbob is just going to let that one sail on in. George Mason has a steep climb ahead of them, but FIU Varsity not out of the woods just yet. Time still of the essence, but yeah, Zernite, let's just play it out, sir. Keeping things classy between these two squads. Zernite's going to send one back the other way, Jam. White deny. Drugod, a beautiful air control at midfield. Gives this GMU attack in check, and he will once again be everywhere, all over this field. Zernite's going to get the offense flowing for the time being. Coco's going to run Jam down. But this could be another dangerous situation for FIU Varsity. Ball sails towards the FIU net. Will be bumped for the first time by Drew, and the second by Coco. Zernite's going to turn the ball and burn it upfield. Denied at midfield, but Drugod, another shot attempt, nearly sails in. Jam, a great denial. Coco centers it over midfield. Zernite looks to go top right corner, but can't buckle it in. Jussie turning upfield, and I'm working with Kevbob. Does Jussie have the finish? Another denial. Coco again in the goal. This is such an iron wall for FIU Varsity. Nothing going through here in the remaining seconds of game number 2. It's just been denial after denial. Kev and Jussie looking for an option, looking for some solace, but they're not going to find much else except a defeat screen. 1 second remains. And Kevbob get the consolation goal. Not even. Another denial by Zernite, and another game in this series of high-scoring action, but this time sending it back the other way. A 954 score. We're almost looking at 4 digits for FIU's star defenseman, Drugod. Had some incredible saves, sure, but looked even better on that offensive end. It was a double hat trick. Coco and Drew both doing more than enough to get these teams across the line. What an incredible game 2. And of course, this best of 5 series is nowhere near done yet. FIU Varsity still need 2 wins, or GMU, of course, could win these 2 games, but either team just 2 wins away from securing another win here in the Swiss stage. Round robin already completed. Drugod's going to bump that one up. Look to United touch. He'll feint, and this is actually a shot attempt from Coco. It's beautiful. Gorgeous stuff from FIU Varsity. Look at this feint from Zernite. Multiple players jumping out of their shoes. And FIU Varsity scoop up the first goal of the game again. That synergy. Nothing like we saw in game number 1. They're keeping the momentum from game 2 and looking to spiral it out of control. Zernite dribbling down that left sideline is getting it up to Coco in the goal. Dangerous spot, but Jam just misses out on that touch. 50 ball won at midfield by Kevbob, and Coco is in a tough spot here in this back left corner. It's a crossover midfield, and that's a Jussie score to just get it back evened up at 1 apiece. Locked and loaded, George Mason. Tie the game here in game 3. Battle over the restart of midfield, and Coco's going to dribble past one, look for an opportunity in Zernite. And Coco working together again. Anything you can do, they can do better, FIU claims, as Coco and Zernite look to put on another teamwork masterclass of their own. .50 ball stalling a little bit here at midfield, but finally controlled now by Zernite, running down that left sideline, crossed over the middle of the field, but once again maintained. GMU gonna claim a free goal at the back of the net. FIU Varsity just so out of position. We're getting eager on that offensive end, and everybody lacking boost. Gonna watch that one sail in 2-2. 4:02 remaining. Midfield restart is initially won by FIU, but the reversal beautifully played by the Patriots. Jam is just going to let that one drop underneath Coco, stalling out in midair. Hate to see it. Jussie's going to get a demo formed as well. Coco won't be able to get it past Kevbob, but Kevbob slips it past Zernite. A nice bump from Coco, knocks it off course for the time being, but Jussie redirects in time. George Mason, for as lifeless as game 2 looked, are full speed ahead here in game 3. 3:33 remaining. Make sure you make a wish. FIU Varsity wishing they could have that goal back. Restart going FIU Varsity's way, and Zernite looking to slam one home, but Jussie again the denial. Looking to challenge for that 984 score. Game 2, Zernite has only 12 boosts to play with. How does he deny Kevbob's shot? It's Coco who does the heavy lifting. Jussie gets it across midfield. He's going to claim that booster in the back right corner. Nearly attempted a bounce shot, but FIU Varsity still maintain control. Jam is looking to change that narrative, switch directions, and Drugod is the one who roll. Skies high, dribbles past Coco, who's left for FIU Varsity in the goal. It's Zernite on the initial denial. Coco, I'd like tap over midfield. Zernite gonna lift that one high in the sky. Kevbob is all over it, but out of boost. An opportunity now for Zernite to take a shot, gonna go up high. Cannot get the slam. Another attempt from Coco is denied again. Jussie in the right spot once more. Drugod still keeping this offensive pressure alive, and Kevbob might find himself in a little bit of trouble. And Zernite evens the game at 3. 382 score for the captain. He wrangles another goal in. Just over a minute past the last one, and FIU Varsity stare an even scored game head in the eye. Zernite looks to do a bit of solo dribbling, but will be denied. High in the air, a bounce attempt from Coco will be denied the first time. He's gonna look to reverse field, dribbles past one, looking to get past another, and he does. Out of boost though, and there's simply no more offense to be had for FIU Varsity. Zernite is going to miss out on that initial touch, and it's just going to sail past a sea of orange and blue. Zernite's gonna redirect that ball and actually gets the score done too. Gorgeous work from Zernite, and he's already secured his hat trick here in game number 3. Wasn't involved in the hat trick party earlier tonight, but certainly will find himself in it this time. Just under 2 minutes remain, and FIU Varsity cling to a slim 1-goal lead. Zernite has boost to play with and is looking to keep this offense from sputtering out. Drugod pumps it over midfield. Jussie sends it back the other way. Kevbob does not have boost to play with, and Coco is gonna deny Jussie with the help of Drew. Final opportunity for FIU Varsity to get this defense started once more, but this is such a dangerous spot. Great bump from Coco though, knocks it out of harm's way. Zernite can't quite win the 50 in time, and Drugod's gonna face a demo, but does it matter? Because Coco's on the other end. Drugod may have met an untimely booming demise, but his last dying breath sends it all the way to the mouth of the goal, and Coco secures it. JMU questioning the validity of FIU's ranked claims. Only champion, you say, huh? Drugod certainly playing more than just his rank, continuing this offensive onslaught. 1 minute remains in FIU Varsity now. A secure 2-goal lead. The ball continuing to put pressure on this GMU Acad squad. Kevbob dribbles it past the first one, and it's James. Now the last one left. The cross up over into the top middle of the goal, and Kevbob secures his second. GMU not out of it just quite yet. FIU Varsity now only a single goal separates them from an overtime in 46 seconds. Another restart on the cards, and Drew. Pass with people alive once more. Zernite in the back corner. As a demo onto Coco, it's just these two players looking to keep this ball out of harm's way. 30 seconds remain. The witching hour for FIU Varsity, the witching half minute. Zernite and Coco trouble some spots, but Drew continues to keep this GMU squad off balance. A denial in front of the goal, but Kempa finally secures it. Gorgeously done. Zernite placed in such a tough spot. The way that ball was positioned. And with only 13 seconds remaining, it looks like we could find ourselves in sudden death sooner rather than later. Ball restarted at midfield, and FIU Varsity wants to find a quick goal, but certainly not looking to give up an easy shot. Jussie will be demoed. It's a 3-on-2 for the time being. Drugod sends it back the other way. It's a bouncing shot, but it's gonna trigger an overtime. No opportunity for a last-second goal, and now sudden death overtime. You know the rules. First goal wins, and the JMU is looking to close it right away. Drugod's going to let that one dribble past him. Kempop's going to steal away the boost. Coco denies it from him, and with only 1 point of boost remaining, is going to use that last little spurt to get the offense back in motion. And Zernite, an opportunity now in front of the goal. Drugod secures the final score of game number 3. 24 seconds is all it takes for FIU Varsity to find an opening, find a score. And Drugod is the one that puts the nail in the George Mason coffin here in game 3. FIU Varsity find themselves just 1 game away from securing a 3-0 or 3-1, a 3-0 season record here in the spring regular season split. Zernite claiming that they're champion in threes. Whether that's true or not, who's to say? Zernite 815 score and another hat trick for the captain. One in a series of hat tricks throughout his illustrious and highly decorated career. But once more, everything is settled in this deciding game. FIU Varsity 1 game away from victory. George Mason needs to string 2 together to even have a shot. Coco again keeping the offense going early. Jam the denial in the goal, and Drugod's going to send it back the other way. Jam it's in the penalty box. Coco's denied. Beautifully done. Denied at the corner boost, and now it's GMU have this offense in a stranglehold. Zernite turning upfield, looking to reverse and turn and burn, but Drugod, his last little bit of boost is all that will remain. Zernite can't find himself an option to open this game back up. Bouncing back and forth, and still FIU Varsity all over it. Coco's going to send the ball towards a slightly open net, but Jam finds themselves in the right place at the right time. Top crossbar, and Zernite can't secure it. Would have been a beautiful goal, game-changing one at that, but Jam just going to have their shot turned away. Jussie is hiding in this back right corner. Zernite is wrestling for boost control. Coco takes an opportunity, a shot attempt, but goes wide. Still, Drugod maintains possession down this left sideline on the corner. Going up top. Nobody home just yet. Bob is out over midfield, and Coco's just going to knock that ball away from him. Nothing to be controlled, because Zernite had a little bit of a mistouch on the ball, and Drugod's going to be the one to clean up his mess at midfield. Coco will have the ball knocked away from him, and without boost, Drugod finds himself in a tough spot. Zernite has a bit of a feint, knocks these players off course, but Jussie and Kevbob still unrelenting in this offensive pressure for the Patriots. Turning it upfield, though, and Coco nearly redirects a goal. Zernite still trying to wrestle one in. Drugod another attempt. Zernite can't quite turn without the boost. Coco misses on that back right corner, and Drugod's going to be the one that's facing a demo. 9 boost is Zernite's name, and Jam is just looking to keep things stable, keep things even. 2 minutes have elapsed, and nobody has been able to open up an inch, but Zernite takes another shot attempt that will be denied by Jussie. Jam over midfield, still wrestling, still battling, but nothing opening up for either squad just yet. Drugod wrestling with Jussie in the back right corner, but Zernite, with what little boost he has remaining, does steal it away for the time being. Drugod's flying forward, but doesn't get the touch. GMU an opportunity now, an opening, but Zernite slams the door shut, and a Drugod demo means that they're still so far away from a Patriots goal. Coco's going to knock it into harm's way, but Zernite is just going to turn it upfield, redirecting that danger. Kebab looking to blob one up off the crossbar. Opportunity denied. FIU Varsity still in control, and it's Zernite who's opportunity hunting on this car, but lacking the boost to do so. Coco keeps it out of harm's way, and FIU Varsity starved for boost in their own goal, but finally sending it back the other direction. Drugod looks to get aerial, but simply doesn't have the angle. Now is forced to retreat and back the other way. Zernite controls over midfield, and that's a double thing. Coco and Jussie fly by. Nobody getting control over this ball. Wrestled for in the back left corner, and Kevbob's going to be the one that controls. Sending it now over the middle of the field, and a great 50 ball. Won by Coco. Now onto the back left corner. Jussie going up top, wrestling up high. Coco denies. Once more, sending it back upfield. Kevbob stealing away that boost. FIU Varsity is still so boostless on this defense, but Zernite is going to snatch one away. Jumping forward, lunging, but not finding the contact. Finally, turning upfield, and Drugod looking to be a dagger. 1 minute and 14 seconds remain, and this could be FIU's opportunity to finally break this game open. A demo onto Drew means it's just 2-on-3. Jam, opportunity to score, and they will! In the top right corner in the 11th hour, Jam is the one that secures the goal for George Mason. A back and forth mudfest for the Panthers and Patriots. Finally broken on the stalemate by Jam's gorgeous goal redirect. Once again looking for an opportunity, but Drugod denies it. Zernite soars up high, and without boost, Drugod is just a sitting duck. 45 seconds remain, and FIU Varsity is desperate for a goal, looking to avoid that game number 5. Opportunity now for Zernite. He's got some boost to work with. He's got a teammate to cross it over towards him. Drugod keeping the ball on the right side of the half-field marker, but only 30 seconds remain. Jam, a chance, an opportunity, but another missed play. And now Zernite sending it back the other direction. Does he have the goal? It's tied at 1. Zernite does it again. A rabbit out of the FIU hat. FIU Zernite does it once more with 20 seconds remaining. We could find ourselves staring down in overtime in just a matter of moments. Ball wrestled for at midfield. Zernite grabs possession of it for now. Kevbob and him bouncing back and forth. Coco has some boost to play with. Going to go off the back wall. 10 seconds remain. FIU Varsity, all they have to do is keep it out of their own goal, and they'll find themselves at a stalemate, even Steven, right before the overtime. Ball's going to hit the ground, and we know where this leads. Sudden death. Anything goes. No holds barred, and Jam is looking to close it once and for all. Drugod beats him to the punch down that right sideline, and Coco with just 32 boosts is not going to be able to deny Jussie. Deny the opportunity for Kevbob to slam one home, and just as FIU won in overtime before, George Mason in shorter time win in overtime number 2. Beautiful shot from Kevbob, and Jam setting it up. Jam MVP'd in this game, 3 saves, and of course Kevbob, the finishing touch on that game. 5-16 score for Jam here in game number 4. But of course, that leads us to the final match of tonight's game. Game number 5, anything goes, do or die. 5 minutes separate us from a week 3 winner and loser. FIU Varsity looking to get their revenge on the GMU Patriots, and meanwhile, George Mason looking to claw their way back after a disastrous games 2 and 3. It's Zernite who has the first opportunity at a goal. Back crossbar. Drugod's going to be now in control. Up over the middle of the field. Coco will be denied the first time, and Zernite without boost. Pretty precarious, but does get his mitts on it. Jussie over the middle of the field, but Coco's boost control very solid. Jam is going to let the ball come to him, and now knocking it forward and upfield. Going to bounce it past these FIU players, but as it ricochets into this corner, there's not going to be much more for him to find. Drugod wins a 50 ball in midfield, and Coco is now flying full speed ahead. Jam has to deny this at the goal line, but Drew doesn't have the boost. Zernite Looking to knock some of these players off course. Coco gets it dribbled just past him, and it's just left onto Drew to deny. In front of the goal, Zernite is just going to lob it up, and Kepbop keeps him out of the way. Heartbreak for FIU, just less than a minute into this game number 5, the securing game, the deciding game. FIU Varsity find themselves on the back foot early. A demo onto Drugod means that FIU Varsity is fighting forward, a man down. Zernite rolls in that back left corner, and it's another GMU score. Tough looks for FIU early here in Game 5. Not even a minute elapsed, and already down 2 goals. Going to be quite a battle to find themselves back in control. 50 ball one at midfield, and Drugod's going to get a little bit of a love tap from Zernite. Dribbling his way forward, looks to take a shot with such little boost. Is always a difficult call to make. Drugod will answer the punch on this defensive stand, but Kepbop putting his foot on the physical and metaphorical gas. Jussie in the goal, looking to get a bit of a bicycle, but nothing to be found. Burning upfield. Coco bounces off the wall. Zernite an opportunity. Top crossbar. Denied the first time. Drugod again cannot get the control they're looking for. Coco still has plenty of boost to work with on this rebound, but GMU keep it out of harm's way again. Coco can't deny. Jussie and Jam again in front of this goal. Jussie doing flips on it. Trickery by the Patriots, but FIU Varsity not to be deterred. Coco skies up and denies. Left on to him and Zernite to get this offense back in gear. Drugod sending it forward, an opportunity, but denied again. This FIU Varsity attack that had been humming along so well for 4 games in this series suddenly find themselves stymied in the waning moments of their best of 5. How do they respond? Drugod leaves one floating up in front of the goal. Coco's going to take a shot, but Zernite will be denied by Jam. Drugod another attempt at it. A shot on target, but denied again. Jussie developing his own iron wall in front of this goal. Kepbop dribbles it down that right side, and Drugod will be pulled away from keeping it out of the possession of the Panthers, and that's the 3rd goal for GMU. Is this the parish song? For whom the bell tolls. FIU Varsity finding themselves on the wrong side of these trades so many times. GMU looking to walk their way to a free game number 5 victory. It's been hard fought. FIU Varsity are finding themselves in just such a difficult position. Kepbop sending this ball back on the offensive end once again. GMU not even deciding to park the bus. They've been all the way in control. And again, it's all somewhat safe, but FIU Varsity, the further the time ticks down without a goal, the grimmer this outlook will get. And there it is again, Jussie securing a hat trick. A 3rd goal for GMU striker. Another hat trick for this series. An absolute bloodbath it has been tonight. Both teams fighting back and forth, tooth and nail. It's FIU Varsity, who unfortunately, as time continues to wane, will find themselves on the losing end of the best of 5 series. So many chances for them to take it, but all George Mason needs to do is run this time out. Jam's going to continue to rub salt in the wound. Coco will be demoed. This time continues to escape the Panthers. Jussie over midfield sends the ball forward. Nobody from FIU remains in the goal, but GMU is trying to keep this ball in play. The less stoppage there is, the less time FIU Varsity can potentially save. Coco will have his solo dribble opportunity knocked away. Now getting flashy up over the middle of the field. Can they find a redemption goal, cover the spread. Coco's save is beautiful in front of the goal, but FIU Varsity still find themselves on the wrong end of pure, unadulterated leather. George Mason Rocket League has looked untouchable here in game number 5, and they're going to send in a 5th one for good measure. As much as Drew God's nail sealed the game 3 coffin shut, the Patriots claim that FIU won the battle, but far from the war. The season series was 1-0 after a best of 3 that went the distance. The season series looked to even it up before it went the distance again, but the Patriots reigned supreme and vanquished the Apex Predators here in South Florida. FIU Varsity, as this ball hits the ground, delaying the inevitable now, will fall in game number 5. It's a 3-2 win for George Mason University's Rocket League Academy team. Beautiful work from the GMU Acad roster. GG's all the way around. Unfortunate outcome, but thrilling game nevertheless. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to tonight's stream. It's an unfortunate outcome, but of course, FIU Varsity Rocket League will be back, as always, next Tuesday for more varsity gameplay. But if you want to catch more FIU esports content, make sure you're tuning in tomorrow night, because FIU Val GC will be playing at 7 against St. Clair Saints GC. It's going to be a GC battle you won't want to miss. On the other end, it's going to be FIU Varsity Val taking on EMU Esports. It's their first round of 32 playoff matchup. They're looking to stamp their tickets to the land here in Orlando, Florida. Hometown heroes wanting to send their way up north here in the Sunshine State. It all starts tomorrow night. And of course, Thursday, it's going to be FIU Varsity Smash playing their first round of 32 playoff matchup as well. So tons of FIU esports content coming to you over the next couple of days. Make sure that you're getting your tickets for the Panther Games Expo as well, happening this Saturday. Use !PX in chat in order to learn a little bit more. !Linktree to check out all of our socials. !Discord to join our community. Make sure you hit that bell and follow so you never miss another stream from us. And as always, take care. Awesome.